Good morning, class. I'm Chitin Dumabhutia, a third semester B.Ed student of Siliguri Tarai B.Ed College, and I'll be taking your biology class. So the lesson for today's class is asexual reproduction. So in the previous class, we learned about the reproduction in organism. So we learn about the definition of reproduction, types of reproduction, and so today we'll be discussing about the asexual reproduction in detail. Okay, so first of all, what do you mean by asexual reproduction? So let us understand what do we mean by asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, a single individual is capable of producing offspring. As a result, the offspring produced, they are not only identical to their parents, but they are also the exact copy of their parents. So the term clone is used to describe such morphologically and genetically similar individuals. So asexual reproduction, in asexual reproduction, the single parent is capable of producing the offspring, and the offspring produced, they are not only identical to the parents, but they are the exact copy of their parents. So the term clone is used to describe such morphologically and genetically similar individuals. So I would like to show you a picture. Look. So in this picture you can see this is a picture is a budding in the yeast. So this is a yeast cell. So what happens? This is a parent cell. So this parent cell is giving rise to new individuals, okay, new offspring, and in turn this offspring produced, they are not only identical, but they are the exact copy of their parents. Asexual reproduction is common among single-celled organisms and in plants and animals with relatively simple organizations. In this organism, cell division is itself a mode of reproduction. The division of this cell takes place, and many single-cell organisms, they reproduce by the process of the binary fission, where the cell divides into two halves and they give rise to an adult, like an example in Amoeba and PARIBAR. Okay, so let us see here the example. It has shown the binary fission in Amoeba. So can you see, this is a parent cell. Okay, now inside the parent cell, can you see over here the nucleus? Now the parent cell is further giving rise to new individual. Can you see the enlargement of the nucleus? And now this nucleus divides into two equal halves. So once this nucleus divides into two equal halves, now they are reproducing into two each halves. Now this, from this one single parent, it gives rise to two offspring. Can you see over here? From this single parent, the nucleus got enlarged, and this nucleus in turn give rise to two nucleus. And now the body, they are separated into two equal halves and two new daughter cells are produced. That means in binary fission, a single cell is capable of giving rise to two individual daughter cells. So the example of the binary fission is in Amoeba and in PARIBAR. In yeast, the division is unequal and small birds are produced that remain attached initially to the parent cell, which eventually get separated and mature into new yeast organism. So in each cell, like I showed you before, in each cell, can you see over here, in each cell, this is a parent cell, and this parent cell is giving rise, okay. Now the parent cell is giving rise to new individual, and can you see in this new individual, birds are arising, okay. Now these are the birds, and these birds, they get attached to the body parts, and later on these birds, they get separated, and in turn they give rise to new individuals. While in animals and some simple organism, the term asexual is used unambiguously. In plants, the term vegetative reproduction is frequently used. Okay, so in plants, in terms of plants, it is termed as a vegetative reproduction, whereas in case of the animal, it was an asexual reproduction. In animal, we used the process of the reproduction as an asexual reproduction, whereas in case of plants, the term used is vegetative reproduction. Such as example are the runner, rhizome, sucker, tuber, offset, bulb. They all are capable of giving rise to new offspring. So I'll show you some example, and this the structures, okay. Can you see this potato? Okay, so this is a potato, and these are the eyes of the potato, from where the new birds are arised. So this eyes of the potato, they are termed as a germinating vegetative propagules. That means from this eye they germinate, and they again in turn they give rise to new offspring, a new potato. When you cut this potato plant and when you plant in the soil, it will give rise to, it will form into a new potato. So the vegetative propagation is used in case of the runner, rhizome, tuber, upset, bulb, and the formation of this structure that does not involve two parents. So this process is often termed as a asexual reproduction or the vegetative reproduction in terms of plants. Now next is about the sexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction, it involves the formation of the male and female gametes, either by the same individual or different individual of the opposite sex. And this gamete in turn, they fuse together to form the zygote, and this zygote develops into the new organism. So what is sexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction involves the formation of the male and the female gametes, either by the same individual or by different individual of the opposite sex. This gamete, they fuse together to form this zygote, and this zygote in turn they develop into the new organism or the new offspring. So this sexual reproduction is an elaborate, complex and a slow process as compared to the asexual reproduction. Because of the fusion of the male and the female gametes, sexual reproduction results in offspring that are not identical to the parents or among themselves. Okay, now in case of the sexual reproduction, there is a fusion of the male and female gametes. So the offspring produced, they are not identical. Okay, they are not identical to the parents or among themselves. Like before in asexual reproduction we saw, no, the offspring produced, they are not identical only, but they are the exact copies of their parents. But here in case of the sexual reproduction, it is not like that. The offspring produced, they are not identical with their parents or among themselves. All the organisms, they have to reach this certain stage of the growth and maturity in their life before they attain the stage where they can reproduce sexually, and this period is known as juvenile phase. So what is juvenile phase? The juvenile phase is a phase where all the organism, they have to reach this certain stage of the growth and maturity in their life before they can reproduce sexually. So in case of plants, it is known as a vegetative phase. So that's all for today. In the next class, we'll be going into the depth, and so before coming to the class, you please revise about the asexual reproduction, their examples, and please draw the diagram of the budding in each cell. Thank you.